All right, so I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about something that kept me very stagnant during my fitness journey, a large portion of it. And I want to talk about it because hopefully it can help you guys not make the same mistake. And that is relationships. And one thing that I've learned is that the wrong relationship can ruin your entire life, but the right relationship can actually propel you to greater success. And in my case, I was definitely in the wrong relationship. And no blame, I don't put any blame towards the girl that I was with, because one thing that you have to understand is that any result that comes from your life is your fault and your fault only. And once you understand that, you'll be able to succeed far better in anything that you try to do. So I prepared some notes here so I can talk to you guys about my past, but more importantly, I can talk to you guys about how to avoid the mistakes I made in my past. So, just a bit of backstory is this happened when I was back in high school. And this is like my high school sweetheart or whatever you want to call her. But I was with her for about 3.5 years of my time in high school. And it started back when I was in freshman year. So back then is when the pandemic had happened, right? 2019, that's when I got super fat. During this time, I was still single and I ended up getting super overweight. Now, a couple months after that is when I started to lose the weight, when I realized, like, hey, listen, I have a problem. I need to do something about it. And I started to do something about it. And slowly I started to lose the weight over time. Now, during summertime, when I was going into my sophomore year, is when I started to hang around this girl who I knew through mutual friends. And I started to entertain the idea that me and this girl could be something. Number one, because in my eyes, I found her super pretty, and I hadn't up to that point, I hadn't gotten much attention from women that I thought were super pretty because of my physical, and not just that, because of the person I was. I became very isolated, because I just thought I couldn't attract anything or anybody, and so I entertained the thought of being with this girl, and I ended up being with her. And that's when like my whole world changed. All the thoughts about, building this great physique and losing the weight had disappeared from my mind, and I had transitioned into a state of, this girl is my whole entire world. This is the girl I'm going to marry someday. I have to prioritize making her happy and just being all lovey-dovey and putting my all into the relationship and putting nothing into anything else. And so I was like this for a year and a half. I had lost the weight, but I didn't lose all the weight, so I was chubby. And I was like that, like I said, a year and a half until my junior year. Started my junior year. Me and this girl ended up having problems, and she had moved away to Jersey for a period of time. And during that time, when I was by myself, again, I realized, damn, like, a year and a half has passed by. I still haven't lost the weight. I need to lock in again. So that's what I did. I locked in again. But, but, right, this is where you can do things for the wrong reasons. And that's exactly what I did. So my priority was just to lose fat because I wanted to look better, right? I was just focused solely on my appearance and none of the work that I was actually putting in. So the thing I did the most was starve myself. And specifically, I would go to the gym. Whenever I would go to the gym, all I would do was like 40 minutes to an hour of just straight cardio, right? And this is where I found like one of the most effective cardios, which I use to this day, but I used it for the wrong reasons. So this cardio was going on the treadmill, putting the incline all the way up to 15 and putting the speed at 3. And then I think after a year later, like people started posting this on TikTok and like how this was the meta. And I was like, damn, like I really found this first, huh? But anyways, I lost the weight. I ended up pretty skinny, but I still had excess fat around my midsection. So I was in that physique skinny fat because the rest of my body was relatively skinny, but it was really undefined and soft. And by that time is when this girl reappeared into my life. And so I started entertaining the idea of being in a relationship with her again. And so I was during my the end of my junior year and all of my senior year, I was with her. I was trying to fix things and we were trying to do things together. And so we were trying to work on our relationship. And yet again, I let go of my goals. I let go of the things that I wanted to do. And I prioritized me and her. I prioritized working on the relationship, making sure that things worked, just focusing on that and then focusing on school, right? That's really all I was focused on. All the other goals I had, I let them go out the window. And again, I spent another year and a half making little to no progress. So up to this point, we have a total of 3 years or 2 to 3 years that I made minimal to no progress in my physique in the gym because I prioritized a girl over myself. And a lot of you have this issue because you think that a relationship is going to feel the emptiness that you have. But in reality, you need to isolate yourself and work on yourself. And working on yourself doesn't just mean your physical, it means your mental, it means your emotional, it means everything, right? But in this case, we're talking about the physical. So now that I've explained to you the backstory of why I came up with the statement that the wrong relationships can keep you fat, can keep you stagnant, I want to explain to you three things that you can implement into your life that can help you avoid this mistake. And that if you're already making these mistakes, can help you reevaluate what you're doing and switch your course of action, right? So, number one is going to be to sit down and analyze your life. I want you to really think about the things that you do on a day to day basis. Do you do these things for yourself? Do you do these things to better you or to genuinely help other people? Or do you do these things solely to please other people because you think doing these things will make them like you? Okay? Once you differentiate between those two, I want you to stop doing the second half of those things, right? Because one thing that I want you to understand is that not everybody is going to like you and not everybody is going to be your friend, right? And once you have that understanding, you realize that it's not worth it to try to pretend to be somebody else than who you really are. Number two is going to be to learn how to say no to people, right? And no to different things that just block your success, just block what it is that you want to do. And I want you to prioritize saying no to the people that are just constantly taking from your life and they're not adding anything back. These are the worst kinds of people to have in your life because, yeah, it might seem like they're around right now. It might seem that they're your friend. But I promise you, when you get into the same situation that they're in, that they need your help for, they're not going to be there for you. And one thing that you have to realize also is that once you start building yourself up to the person who you are, the person who you're meant to be, you're going to naturally attract the people that are good for your life. You won't have to go searching for them all the time, and you definitely won't have to go people pleasing all the time. Lastly, number three, you're going to actually get up and go to the gym, and you're going to start watching the things that are coming into your body, right? Simple as that. How do you expect to achieve X physique, X goal if you're not putting in the work? It's not how it works. As far as the gym goes, things don't have to be super complicated. People make it super complicated by telling you you have to do an optimal workout, you have to do an optimal workout split, you have to do a bro split, you have to do um upper lower split. No, just go to the gym and work out. As you work out, right, you're gonna find the things that work for you and the things that don't work for you. But it doesn't happen until you start. As far as your nutrition goes, the simplest way you can go about your nutrition right now is to stop eating the processed junk and to switch to whole and nutrient dense foods. And those are going to be the foods that either come from the ground or they come from an animal. Now, I'm not saying that you have to cut out your favorite snacks because that's not what I'm saying either. You don't have to starve yourself. Eat these things in moderation. Don't eat the whole container. A lot of you go overboard eating the whole container and then you wonder why you're still fat. All right? So those are the three things. Start implementing them today. Like really take note of what I just said and start doing it, and do it for a certain period of time. Again, consistency is key. If you do something for 1 or 2 days or for a week or even just for a month, you're not going to see change, right? Because that's not a long enough time period to see change. Regardless of the fact, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, subscribe and leave a comment about anything. Leave a comment about anything that you're going through right now that I can make a video about and address.